Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the English Ladder podcast. I'm your host, and I am so glad you've joined us today as we take another step up your language learning ladder. Let me start today's episode with a quick question for you. Think about your daily habits. For example, do you brush your teeth only once a year for 5 hours straight? Of course not. That sounds ridiculous, right? You brush them every single day for just about 2 minutes. It's a tiny action, but because you do it again and again, it keeps your teeth healthy. Believe it or not, mastering English works exactly the same way. Many students believe they need to spend an entire weekend studying for 10 hours to make progress. But here at English Ladder, we believe in a different approach. It is much more effective to study for just 15 minutes every day than to study for many hours once a month. This is what we call consistent practice. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how this small daily habit can completely transform the way you speak and understand English. Consistent means doing something regularly, not just when you feel motivated or when you have extra time. It's about making English a natural part of your life. Why is this so important? Because your brain thrives on repetition. When you hear a new phrase or practice a word daily, your brain begins to store it in your long-term memory. Over time, speaking becomes automatic. You won't have to stop, think, and translate every word in your head anymore. You'll start to feel more free and, most importantly, more confident. So, are you ready to learn how to build your own daily routine? Let's dive into the practical steps to level up your English in just 15 minutes a day.
5 practical rungs for your English ladder. Now that we understand the power of consistency, you might be asking, okay, but what should I actually do during those 15 minutes? Great question. Let me give you 5 simple yet powerful activities. You can pick one each day or mix them up to keep things interesting. First, active listening. Instead of just playing English in the background while you sleep, spend 5 minutes really listening to a short clip. It could be a brief news report or a story. Don't worry about understanding every single word. Your goal is to catch the melody of the language and identify a few familiar terms. You can do this while you're commuting or even while waiting for your tea to brew. Second, the shadowing technique. This is like being a language mirror. Listen to one sentence, pause it, and repeat it exactly like the speaker. Copy their speed, their emotion, and their rhythm. For example, if you hear, "I'm heading out for a walk," say it back with the same energy. This builds your muscle memory for speaking. Third, mindful reading. Find a very short article or a social media post in English. Read it slowly. If you hit a word you don't know, try to be a detective. Guess the meaning from the sentences around it before you reach for the dictionary. This helps you see how grammar actually works in the real world. Fourth, the microjournal. You don't need to write a book, just write 3 sentences about your day. What did you eat? How was the weather? What is one thing you want to achieve tomorrow? This simple act connects your thoughts directly to English words. Fifth, the self-talk challenge. This might feel a bit funny at first, but talk to yourself out loud. Narrate your life as if you are the main character in a movie. Say things like, "Now I am opening the fridge. I am looking for some milk." This removes the fear of speaking because your only audience is yourself. Each of these steps is a solid rung on your English ladder. In the next part, we'll see what happens to your brain after a week and a month of doing this. Stay tuned.
The transformation process. What happens next? Now let's talk about the magic of time. You might feel like 15 minutes isn't doing much on day 1, but let's look at the bigger picture. What happens as you continue to climb this ladder? After just 1 week of daily practice, something subtle shifts in your brain. You've now spent over 100 minutes focused on English. You'll start to notice that words which used to sound like noise are now becoming clear. Maybe you hear a phrase like, "How's it going?" And instead of translating it to your native language, you just know it means, "How are you?" Your brain is starting to accept English as a friend, not a stranger. After 1 month, the transformation becomes even more real. By this point, the habit has kicked in. You don't have to force yourself to practice anymore. It's just something you do, like checking your phone. Your vocabulary has expanded, and you'll find yourself guessing the meaning of new words correctly because you've seen the patterns. But the biggest change isn't just in your vocabulary, it's in your confidence. In the beginning, you might feel shy or afraid of making a mistake. We've all been there. But after 30 days of showing up for yourself, that voice of doubt gets quieter. You start telling yourself, "I'm not perfect yet, but I am much better than I was 4 weeks ago." Think of it like a small plant. You water it every day. You don't see it grow by the hour, but if you look away and come back a month later, it's taller, stronger, and greener. That plant is your English fluency. It grows in the quiet moments of your daily routine, not in a sudden burst of luck. In the final part of today's episode, I'm going to share some secret tips on how to make sure you never miss a day and how to keep this journey fun and exciting. Don't go anywhere. Strategies to stay on the ladder. By now, you're probably thinking, "This sounds great, but how do I actually keep going when life gets busy?" Let's be honest, we all have those days where we feel overwhelmed. Here are 3 expert strategies to make sure your English ladder stays strong. First, use the visual chain method. Get a simple physical calendar or a tracking app. Every day you complete your 15 minutes, put a big, bright X on that day. After a few days, you'll see a chain. Your only job is to not break that chain. There is a psychological power in seeing your progress visually. It makes you feel proud and keeps you motivated to add the next link. Second, embrace the 10-minute rule. On your busiest days, when you feel like you have 0 time, tell yourself, "I will just do 10 minutes." It's much easier to start something when the goal is small. Often, once you start, you'll find that you actually want to keep going. But even if you stop at 10 minutes, you've still won the day because you kept the habit alive. Third, connect English to your passions. If you love cooking, follow a recipe in English. If you're a football fan, listen to match commentary in English. The secret to long-term success is making English a tool for your hobbies, not a separate subject to study. When you're having fun, your brain learns twice as fast because it doesn't feel like work. Remember, your environment also plays a huge role. Keep your English books on your desk, save your favorite podcasts to your favorites list, and have your notebook ready. The fewer obstacles there are between you and your practice, the easier it is to climb higher. You have the tools and you have the potential. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most consistent one. Overcoming the perfection trap. Before we wrap up the core of today's lesson, I want to talk about a silent enemy that often stops people from climbing their English ladder. That enemy is perfectionism. Many students stop practicing because they feel they aren't doing it right, or they still make mistakes with their grammar. Let me let you in on a secret. Mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are the most important sign of growth. If you are making mistakes, it means you are actually using the language. Think about a child learning to walk. They stumble and fall dozens of times. Does the parent look at them and say, "Well, I guess walking isn't for you"? Of course not. We clap because they tried. You need to be that supportive parent for yourself. Another tip to keep your momentum is to stop comparing your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20. You might see someone on the internet speaking perfect English and feel discouraged, but you don't see the years of 15-minute sessions they put in behind the scenes. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. If you miss a day, and let's be real, life happens, don't beat yourself up. Don't say, I failed, so I might as well quit. Just get back on the ladder the very next day. One missed rung doesn't mean the whole ladder is broken. The goal here isn't to be perfect by tomorrow. The goal is to be slightly more comfortable with the language than you were this morning. When you change your focus from being perfect to being present, the entire journey becomes lighter and more successful.
Customizing your climb. One thing I really want to emphasize today is that your English ladder shouldn't look exactly like mine or anyone else's. Your journey is unique, and that's why it's so important to customize your learning. If you find yourself bored with a textbook or a specific podcast, don't feel guilty for switching to something else. Boredom is a signal that your brain isn't fully engaged. To make those 15 minutes really count, you need to find content that sparks joy, as some might say. For instance, if you are a tech enthusiast, read short tech blogs. If you love fashion, follow English-speaking influencers in that niche. When the topic is interesting, your brain naturally focuses more, and you'll find yourself looking forward to your daily practice instead of avoiding it. Also, don't be afraid to experiment with where and how you practice. Some of my most successful students do their 5 minutes of self-talk while they're in the shower, or they do their shadowing while they are walking their dog. By attaching English to a habit you already have, you make it almost impossible to forget. Another great tip is to keep a victory folder on your phone. Whenever you understand a joke in English, finish a short article, or manage to explain a thought without translating, take a quick note or a screenshot. On days when you feel like you aren't making progress, look back at that folder. It's a powerful reminder of how far you've actually climbed. Remember, the ladder is yours to build. You choose the materials, you choose the speed, and you choose the destination. The most important thing is that you keep moving upward, even if the steps are small.
Breaking the silence, overcoming speaking anxiety. Now, let's tackle one of the biggest hurdles on the English ladder, the fear of actually speaking to another human being. You might be fine practicing alone in your room, but the moment someone asks you a question in English, your heart starts racing and your mind goes blank. Does that sound familiar? The reason this happens is that we view speaking as a test instead of a tool. To overcome this, we need to apply our 15-minute philosophy to social situations. You don't need to start by giving a speech. Start with what I call micro-interactions. If you have an English-speaking friend or even a language exchange partner, don't try to have a 1-hour conversation immediately. Just send a 30-second voice message, or leave a 1-sentence comment on an English YouTube video or an Instagram post. These small digital speaking moments act as a bridge, slowly building the confidence you need for real-life conversations. Remember, the person you are talking to usually cares much more about understanding you than they do about your perfect use of the present perfect tense. Think of communication like a game of catch. If you throw the ball and the other person catches it, the game is working. It doesn't matter if you didn't throw the ball with perfect technique. Every time you open your mouth to say even a simple, "Hello, how's your day going?" you are strengthening your communication muscles. It's okay if your voice shakes a little at first. That shaking is just the sound of your comfort zone expanding. So I want you to make a deal with yourself. This week, find one tiny opportunity to use your English with someone else, even if it's just a short text or a quick greeting. You'll be surprised at how much stronger you feel once you break that silence. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles, or a very tall ladder, starts with just one small, consistent step. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on being present for those 15 minutes today. You've got this, and I am right here cheering you on. If you found today's tips helpful, please let me know by hitting that like button. It really helps the channel and allows more English learners to find us. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the English Ladder podcast and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a step in our journey together. I would love to hear from you. What is the one 15-minute activity you're going to start doing today? Is it shadowing, reading, or maybe talking to yourself? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one of them, and they truly inspire me to create more content for you. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me today and for trusting English Ladder to be a part of your learning adventure. Don't stop here though. If you're ready for the next level, make sure to click on the next video appearing on your screen right now. We're going to dive even deeper into some amazing fluency secrets. Until next time, keep climbing, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. Goodbye for now.